One of the first really big surprise hits for the Xbox 360 was Real-Time World's Crackdown, which of course also came with the Halo 3 beta, which a lot of people probably bought it for. But it was this weird mixture of platforming, shooting, action, free roaming, worldish, orb hunting. And supposedly the sequel is more the same, right?
It's very much, very much exactly the same. It's kind of this odd, like, free roaming thing where they just put you down in the middle of a big city and they say, like, there's zombies over there, there's some objectives over there, armed terrorists over there, go.
Yeah.
Do stuff. Which in some ways is quite a nice way to do a game, but it also brings a lot of problems. So, well, yeah, at the basic level, you're this agent guy working for...
which is sort of a superhero.
Yeah, superhero soldier, full armored guy, working for a secret agency called The Agency, of course. And he's sent out into the city to combat the terrorist organization known as Cell.
And also zombies?
And zombies, or freaks as they're called.
Oh yeah.
Not zombies.
Zombies is trademarked.
Yeah. Valve has a trademark.
Yeah, exactly.
And he needs to take over Cell strongholds and activate like beacons that are more or less bombs that only kills zombie freaks. And that's it. Go.
Okay.
Do stuff.
But you make it sound like there really isn't a lot of structure to the game, but already the few key points you've mentioned now seems like it's a more structured game than the first game. But does that make for a better game?
No, probably not. I never played the first game. Caught on tape.
Yes, exactly.
Luckily, I confessed that in my written review.
Oh, okay.
So it's already out there. As far as I've gathered, no. A lot of people really enjoyed Crackdown 1, and I can't really see that in Crackdown 2. Even though, of course, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I love jumping like insanely high between buildings, or jumping off a building from extreme heights, falling down, and doing a power punch just as you land, and killing tons of zombies or armed terrorists. But that kind of gets old after 30, 40 minutes, and then you have to take a break and wait for a couple of hours, and then you get that feeling that I really like to jump off a building now. And then you go back to it. But it's in no way a game that I'd be able to sit down with it, like lock myself in my apartment for a weekend just to play Crackdown 2. Never happened.
Well, one of the really great things about the first game, and kind of what I would say in retrospect defined it, was the orb hunt. Like going around in buildings and finding these ability orbs that let you jump even higher, run faster and stuff like that. And it seems like that's the one key point they probably almost couldn't mess up in the sequel. How is that?
That's the addictive part, I guess, of Crackdown 2, and that it really gets addictive.
Yeah.
Like shoot people, you get shooting orbs that you'll unlock more weapons, or fight people in hand-to-hand combat and kill them. That way you get experience points or experience orbs in hand-to-hand combat, and then you can do more powerful attacks. And there's driving, and there's of course the most addictive of them all, which are the agility orbs. There are 500 of them all through the city, and the more you find, the higher you jump. The longer you jump, and the faster you run. So,
yeah.
And that's also one of the problems in games like this, is that you start out on a pretty... Since you have to scale it up so much, that you start out pretty basic. So during the first, half hour, you don't jump very high, and it's hard to get a feel for the game. But then after you found 50, 60 orbs, you're suddenly bouncing around like a madman, and it only gets worse and crazier from there.
Yeah.
But if you really need a structure in your free roaming world, like both in GTA games, of course, and Red Dead Redemption, that actually gives you quests. It's quest givers. There's a storyline. Here's the story is
bare bones.
It's bare bones. It's not really important. you're not told anything. You're not given like story missions or anything like that. You find audio tapes around the city that tells you a bit about this rather predictable, bland storyline about the agency and about where the freaks come from. But the game doesn't tell you. It's like they're freaks.
Yeah.
They're evil. Kill them. Those guys with guns, kill them as well.
Yeah.
So it's I guess both for Crackdown 1 and especially for Crackdown 2, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Because this is not enough to keep everybody happy.
So one of the big features about the sequel also is that a much more focus has been put into the co-op part of the game. Have you had a chance to play it yet?
That's kind of that's the cool part about Crackdown 2 is that you can, when you start up your campaign, you can put it on just open, and anyone can join in at any time. Like all of a sudden you realize you're not alone and fighting. You're down in a free hole. You're trying to keep this beacon bomb. You want to keep. You need to defend that for a couple of minutes before it can explode. And all of a sudden you realize I'm not alone anymore. There's this guy who just popped into my game and decided to join me, and he keeps following me around and helping me out with my objectives. Why is he doing that? Oh, okay, he seems to be happy about it. And you can also choose, of course, to join others instead of starting up your own game. And they can help you out in all kinds of ways. Suddenly, there's the narrator from the first game is back.
Yay!
The narrator, he's the voice of the agency talking to you.
Commentator almost.
Yeah, it's like, oh, explosions. Yeah. And he gives you some direction of where to go. But all of a sudden, he's giving me instructions because I need to remove an obstacle. And I'm in the middle of a firefight. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know where to go, what to do, but I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'll do that later. And then all of a sudden he goes, great job! I'm still fighting these guys. And that's the other guy just gone and done an objective from you.
Yeah.
So that's really cool to have that open, jump in, jump out co-op, and of course you can invite your friends or they can invite you. If I had anyone to play with.
So one of the last few things I just want to comment on, because I've also been playing the game for a couple of hours, is the graphics, or rather the lack of good graphics.
He's an angry, bitter man.
I was really disappointed by the graphics in Crackdown 2. Not the least because even the graphics in the first game was an acquired taste. But it really suited the game, and to me it almost looks like the sequel has gone down in graphic fidelity.
Well, I'll leave that comparison up to you or to the Crackdown 1 fans, but there's no way around it. The graphics in Crackdown 2 are not top-notch. They're subpar, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we can, of course, have all kinds of discussions about why that is, because the drawing distance is really good.
Yeah, and the amount of characters on screen
is amazing at times, but the design isn't all that anyway.
And the UI is just
shade thing-ish, cartoonish thing they got going doesn't really work all the way. So yeah, I'm just gonna agree with you on that. I'm gonna say that again, just to like wrap up my feelings about it. It's a fun game in 30-40 minute chunks.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% satisfied with Crackdown 2. Actually, I'm far from 100% satisfied with Crackdown 2. But there are so many co-op action chaotic options out there. But if you really feel the urge to throw a truck at a zombie together with your friends, then absolutely go for Crackdown 2.